I want to start out with just saying, as an entrepreneur, like you're going to run into problems, and how you manage those problems is going to determine how well you're going to perform as an entrepreneur. And if you're someone who works at a place and you already rely on like your boss, your supervisor, or somebody, and it's because they get paid more than you, as an entrepreneur, those things are going to set you back. I say all that is because I intended on starting this live stream at 8. And for an hour and a half, I was figuring out why I couldn't live stream as much as I wanted. And I fixed the problem, I think. I'm still trying to see if I can connect to my video source, right? Is going to work out. Saying that I'm still working on some things. I've got to see if Facebook's gonna let me fresh. Let me feel it. Excellent condition. All right, live on YouTube, right? And now let's see if I'm popping on IG. Okay, let's go to next. Things on my live stream. And this is gonna play fair with me. So I'm all that there. Back. Now let me see. So I'm back. One's working. So now I want to do this. Default microphone is the capture 3. This is pretty tight. Let's see settings. So this is what I'm gonna do, guys. Give me. I'm gonna repurpose and re-edit this, guys. Just let me tighten up some loose ends here. I want to print something out. So now that I'm moving along, I meant to do it, but I got anxious and I got distracted, guys. But bear with me here. Taken care of. I'm streaming live on Facebook right now. I got I'm here on YouTube, by the way. So I'm gonna go to Instagram on my phone. That I promised that I'm gonna make it tighten up a little better. And now I'm ready to go. I'm up on Facebook, YouTube, guys. All right, guys. So how's it going? For those of you who've been patiently waiting for the live stream of the century, thank you guys so much for your patience and your time. But I promise to make sure that I'm giving you guys a bunch of value today, right? All right, or tonight. I know many of you guys are probably watching the NBA Finals and Mavs and the Celtics. But tonight, what I want to talk about is Michael James. I am the founder of the Fourth Eye Visions and the Fourth Eye Visions Academy. What this is what this live stream is based around. It's going to be me introducing you guys all into how can you guys thrive and make money in the fourth industrial revolution. Now, I know that anybody that follows me on social media knows that I'm no stranger to talking about cryptocurrency. Now, although I am all in on it, I don't expect everyone to actually be all in on cryptocurrency. But the one thing I also want you to understand is that the World Economic Forum has in motion to digitize everything and usher in the fourth industrial revolution. So what I want to start with now is identifying what are the key of the fourth industrial revolution, right? Because that we're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it, right? Understand first, or what's an industrial revolution, right? So I'm here, right? And if it lets me, it won't let me. There we go. All right, guys. So now, as you can see, the phrase, the fourth industrial revolution was introduced by a team of scientists developing a high-tech strategy for the German government. Klaus Schwab, executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, introduced the phrase to a wider audience in 2015. The article was published by Foreign Affairs, Mastering the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and was the 2016 theme of the World Economic Forum annual meeting, right? So I'm not sure how long you have been following this whole thing, but since 2016, they have been actively talking about it. Now, what I want you to understand is this next part. If you go down to the second paragraph, I'm gonna highlight it right here, right? So it says Schwab expects this era to be marked by breakthroughs in emerging technologies in fields such as robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, quantum computing, biotechnology, the Internet of Things, and the Industrial Internet of Things, decentralized consensus, which is cryptocurrency, and fifth generation wireless technology, which is 5G, and they're already working on 6G. I don't know how much you guys followed me, right? So this is what I want. I'm an active player in this space as an investor and an innovator. I am working with people who are trying to also create things to innovate in this time. The reason why I find it important that you need to understand why this is extremely important to get a hold of is that most of those things you have already seen. Like you've already seen where artificial intelligence around with OpenAI and ChatGPT, robotics, you may seen like the Boston Dynamics dog doing the flips and the tricks, right? You may seen Boston Dynamics bot where it picks up tools, and then now it's already progressed to where it's actually helping people with the tools, right? So you may have seen all of these things, right? And then what I want you to understand is that the Internet of Things, quantum computing, biotech, and the nanotechnology, but more importantly, the decentralized consensus, right? We already know about 5G in the fifth generation. This is why I was saying earlier that you could already see that some of these things, these processes have already been into implementation. Like when we talk about 3D printing, right? And this is the part that I want you guys to understand. When it comes to investing, right? You have to be able to look further forward in order to see opportunity, right? So every time that when we go, if you're somebody who can only think in the present moment, right? We're gonna reach a point where even the traditional ways of people and the way they're making money and things like that, you're not gonna be able to keep pace. Because once they figure out and merge all of those things together, all of these fields, right? Robotics, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and they're not mutually exclusive, but they definitely could be collaborative. Right? But I want you to understand that the wireless technologies and 3D printing and the fully autonomous vehicles. Now you may see that, with Tesla and all the other electronic devices and things like that, right? I don't want to get too far into detail with that. But what I want you to see is in the next slide, it says the Great Reset, which is the proposal by the World Economic Forum. The fourth industrial revolution is included as a strategic intelligence in the solution to rebuild the economy, right? So the reason why, following the COVID-19 pandemic, I like to call that the plandemic. The reason why I call it the plandemic is because everything after that, right? You see it right there in writing. Like this isn't me being some Alice Jones type who's thinking about it, right? Sometimes you have to use your street smarts and common sense in order to see things that are obvious. And I know it's extremely popular to argue amongst your peers and have the battle of wits in order to find out who's right and wrong. I'm simply making this live stream because I'm going to guide you that I don't want you to just view me as some crypto bro, right? I'm saying that I'm seeing something where the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetimes. We're talking about an entire economic structure is shifting to not just be individual like the past, where it was like fiat currency with the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and all of these others. Like if you think about the collapse of the Greece and all these things, right? You may be somebody who's financially free now in US dollars, and you may be fiscally poor when this transition goes through because you didn't make the right investments in the transition into this wealth transfer, which I believe is going to be a two-class system of the significantly opulent and just the people that are suffering. And what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that I can control the narrative or that I will control the narrative, right? I'm trying to say you need to understand that these processes are in order, right? This isn't some alarmist thing. I'm trying to get you to understand that the way you're going to catch this wave, right? The way you're going to be able to help your family and thrive. And like, this isn't me. I'm telling you that these protocols and the consensus is already in order. I have a beautiful presentation that I'm going to share with you guys. It's going to be involved with a bunch of screen sharing, guys. And if you're, I'm sorry, guys, on Instagram, you guys, if you go in my stories, there's a link to actually join on Facebook where you can see where I'm sharing my screen. Also, I'm live on YouTube. That's in my stories as well. But I'm sharing the screen here, and I want you guys to be able to see of everything that I'm telling you about. Because when I go on to the next section, right, I want you to understand that this isn't me just being an alarmist. I'm trying to tell you that all of this truth is right in front of your eyes. I am not trying to I'm not even the smartest person in the world. I'm just operating through common sense and being able to see things because now, as an investor that I identify as, I see opportunity where others don't. And so now, as you can see, the Great Reset proposal by the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and it was sustainably and then the solution to rebuild the economy sustainably following the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So now, where I'm going to follow with this, right, is I'm first let you see who Klaus Schwab is. Now, I'm someone who likes to cite sources because I also believe that you need to be able to research the researcher. You can't just be out here on these internet streets, just listen to somebody because they got some money, they made a good pick or anything like that. I want you to be able to teach yourself because realistically, in order to thrive in these next 5 to 10 years in this shift that's happening, you're going to have to be educated on this. All of those old processes and systems that you guys are fighting with each other about right now, it's done. The globalists have won. Everything that you say and do, whether you hate, if you're excited about killer whales knocking over yachts and you're bragging about it on social media, your data that you are giving them, like Mark Zuckerberg just bought a $500 million yacht. And you know what he's doing? He's making money off you utilizing the platform, whether you post or not. There's 52,000 data points for every account that's created on Meta platforms, whether you're using it or not. You know why that's a thing? You don't have to post to show up and have your data exposed. Most of you guys have poor operational security that the same email that you're using for everything is a digital footprint that follows you around the internet. And if you haven't noticed, when you hear people talking about, like, I swear that my phone is listening to you. Of course it is. When you download these applications, no one has time to read. I want you to also think about the processes that are in order, right? All of these processes that are in order about how, like, it's all designed to keep you into these systems. Like, that's what content creation is, right? As long as I keep people on these platforms, they reward me by giving me more exposure, right? And then you see when you're scrolling, you'll see content creators who only just want to have views and things. I don't care about the views or the follows. I'm using my platform to just give information out. That's what my ultimate goal is. And I want to direct you. So as you can see here, I'm going to the World Economic Forum. As you can see up here in the tab, it's weforum.org, and it's in the About section about Klaus Schwab. And if you look at this guy, he just looks like a supervillain. Like he just looks like somebody like he put him in a bionic suit and then he does some damage, right? So I want you to read a little bit about him, right? It says in 1971, he's the founder and the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, right? So this guy has been implementing a vision that he had since 1971. And this is what I want to tell you about, that many of these things like short form content and all the things that distract you, right? All of these things that distract you is all part of the design to, you're never focused long enough to see the transition of things. You guys only buy into headlines, trending topics. You like to be funny. That's also another thing that I can go on this whole lecture about how mental health and giving people entertainment. And that's one of the things that I notice when I'm scrolling, right? When I'm scrolling around on the internet, one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that you can see the climate of people and humans' emotions. Like, what are people talking about now, right? Just think about what people talk. It's not about what I believe in. I just want you to scroll your timeline and see how many people are going to be talking about NBA Finals, debating about Kyrie Irving, and things like that. So if you want to say that, they'll push you out into the ether, right? I like basketball, but I'm here recording a live stream, putting information out there instead of that, right? What I want you to understand is that also, what are people talking about? Donald Trump and his 34 convictions. Then there's people who's like, pay attention. Something that's circulating right now is like, it's a really popular thread, is that it says the average rent is $2,000. I didn't watch, but it's like, it's funny. Like, actually, let me get this right. It's like the average rent is $20,000, right? It's like $2,000, and the average, they need you to ask for 6 months, like 3 months of rent, which is $6,000, which is a total of $71,000. I'm spitballing, paraphrasing, because I really don't know the numbers, right? But what I really want you to understand, right, is that the numbers on that is wrong. An average and a median are two different things. If you someone who does finance and economy, it's the same thing. I just recently shared a post where I was personally talking about how, right? So let me stop sharing right now. And then, so I just recently shared a post where I was trying to tell you guys that I didn't say anything. I just posted it. There was people who live, I've already checked when the down payment assistance, right? So while they're doing down payment assistance, and I want you to listen to what I'm trying to say, that if you are somebody who just only scrolls the internet and that's your main source of entertainment, right? That is the trap that is keeping you inside of the matrix. Because that the median income, right? So an average is taking everyone's income and then dividing it, right? The median is a collaboration of all of those averages and then getting one second more accurate to what the average pay is, right? Because, you know, we have some engineers that are pulling in 6 figures, right? This is one of the biggest places ever. We have a lot of people in the military that's also here, right? So now when it comes to understanding this whole process, right, is that if you don't start realizing that all of this is just a distraction. Like I was telling people about the people on the submarine. Like I have no idea what they were doing, right? I have no idea what they were doing, what they were running from, or if they were running from it. Maybe they actually did pass on this ship. But the one thing I'm trying to tell you is if you're going on a legendary trip, historical, not go down to see the Titanic, there's also somebody else who's going to do it, right? The idea is that it's like the same thing I'm trying to say, that there's this huge battle with education, right? And then like there's people, like it's easy for people who are adults, right, to say that education isn't important and money isn't everything. See, I believe that all of our problems can be solved with education. If you can properly find the infrastructure to properly pay the educators, the people who are passionate about it, right? And then these are the things, because education is what every civilization thrives off. I'm a college dropout. I'm not saying this because like the student loan debt. I'm saying student loans is predatory lending. What they did was like the capitalists, right, has monetized education system that has actually destroyed our education system. And then if you can't see that because you're back and forth with taxes, identity politics, the real solutions are how do we come together and get proper education for all? See, that's why I want to start making this content, because I don't want to just look like I'm this person who's just ranting on the internet, right? We have to start, instead of fighting with each other, we have to start coming together as a Democrat, as we're supposed to, and come up with solutions. Actually start developing a backbone and having real conversations and being able to handle someone who disagrees with you. Because one of the things that's most important about the college experience, right, is that the most growth and innovation comes from being reviewed by your peers, a respected, like someone who's equally as educated as you, because you know what I can handle, right? Even though I'm a college dropout, if someone disagrees with me, I listen to understand. I don't listen because my ego needs you to tell me that I'm right. Even the stuff that I'm saying now, even when you go to see on Facebook, that's why I like when I'm screen sharing, because I want you to see the web addresses that I'm going to, right? I'm not reading some parody sites. I'm going directly to government and real journalism, like real journalism, right? And I know there's some things about all biases and things like that, but you still have to understand, because you know what you learn in school? MLA format, citing sources, right? And you know what's important about citing sources, right? And this is called general education, in my opinion. This is where we're messing up, is that many people think that money is everything. And I love talking about money. This live stream is about teaching you how to make more money. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the greatest thing for the economy is education. No matter what anyone says or does, you will never knock me off that ledge. Because when you bridge, right, you want to be sure that this person is sound in statistics, calculus, right? You're like that confidence that you have in that bridge was through the collaboration of educated people who came together in a college system and then they got a job, right? These are the things to start realizing. See, everybody, like, the economy is so bad now, which is part of the decadent veil that they want you to, right? They believe that now if you're starving, like if you're starving for money, right? And if you're starving for a place to eat, a place to stay, you're easily controlled, right? And then what happens is, if you feel like you can't touch the person, right? Let's say if you feel like you can't touch the person that disagrees with you, right? Or that you feel that can help you, guess what you start doing? You fighting with the closest person to you, right? It's just like when you have a bad day at work, you go home and you yell at your significant other. Or if you have great emotional intelligence, you know better and not. But what I'm saying is, it's that same toxic behavior that's part of the mind control, right? We have a disconnect with financial literacy. All of these things are fundamentally educated, right? So then think about the irony of this. We have people who feel like they're not properly educated financially, now creating arguments around financial literacy about for a mortgage, right? Now, these are comics, right? You have people who aren't educated, like feel like they weren't properly educated on financial literacy, but feel like they can create a strong argument on why you can't afford it, and then this much on a mortgage loan, right? And then even when you peel back the layers and you just try to make a simple solution to something like that, the infrastructure behind home ownership also affects the retirement income of a lot of people. Most millionaires are made from owning their homes. The capital appreciation in it. It's one of the best financial assets that most people buy. But yes, Robert Kiyosaki says it's a liability. But also, to afford a home, you need to have proper personal finance. It's like the emergency savings fund, right? You have the emergency savings fund. You have, like, you know why you need an emergency savings fund? Because if you buy a house, right? This is the thing that I want to tell you guys about, right? About the whole versus rent thing. And this is my hot take on this, right? you're dependent on your landlord keeping up the big things. If your water heater goes out, right? If the plumbing, someone flushes a toy down your toilet, right? It gets backed up. It starts coming up through the drain, right? Then, if you have all these other things in places and implement, like emergencies, your refrigerator goes out, your stove goes out, right? Your washer and dryer breaks down. You got an electrical outlet, the sprinkler system goes bad. All of those things cost money. And when you are renting, you don't have to pay those things. Your landlord is required to take care of it. The point that I'm trying to tell you is if you don't have the financial responsibility in order to have the resources in case of the emergency, home ownership may not be better because you know what else happens? Like if you get behind on rent, you have a process of eviction notice, right? If you get behind on your mortgage, right? Bank will come and get you out of there. Now, you may think you would if you were inside of an apartment or someone's house and things like that and going through the process, right? But you have to understand these things aren't mutually exclusive and it's not black and white. See, the reason why I'm saying this is because you have to have the proper financial literacy in order to have the credible argument. I know a lot of people think that a lot of stuff is hands-on and learn as you go, right? But this is what I'm saying where the education would help. That if you guys started having these conversations, right? Go and check and see what the pre-qualifications are. Actually, go dream a little bit. One of my friends, she's a mortgage broker and a realtor. And she always talks about how she doesn't care about pre-qualification. She'll take you out and let you dream a little bit. Because what happens is you'll be inspired and you can make some stuff work, right? So I just want to touch on that because that's why I'm showing you in screen sharing that all of these things that we need to start focusing on education. Everybody thinks that they don't have to do this. They don't have time to do that. And the average person spends 6 hours a week scrolling social media, right? And then and that's the average person, whether you log in or not. And just because you don't, remember the exception and not the rule, right? So now let me go share my screen. Like we're going to learn about Klaus Schwab here, and then I'm going to show you some videos, right? And so now, see, he's the co-founder, right? In 1971, he founded the World Economic Forum, right? 1998, he's the co-founder, together with his wife, Hild Schwab, Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, right? The Schwab Foundation provides unparalleled platforms at the regional and global level to highlight and advance leader model sustainable social innovation and identifies a select community of social entrepreneurs and engages it in shaping global, regional, and industry agendas that improve the state of the world in close, all right? So, mind you, this is what this means. He started a nonprofit. Now, one of the biggest things, right, and I hear in cryptocurrency all the time about Ponzi schemes and all this other kind of stuff, right? What I want you to understand is that many people do not understand how much crime happens at the nonprofit level, right? So now, so where else I'm going? So you see his early career, what he does, see his education, right? In 1957, I don't even know, Human Stitch Gymnasium in Ravensburg, Virginia. Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, right? And then it's like summa cum laude at Forsberg in Switzerland, right? So but then again, doctorate. Let's see. And so let me tell you, this guy is a college graduate all over again, right? See, we get these talking points that you saw the server at Applebee's that graduated in basket weaving, and you think that college is the reason why you can't make money. Or you see the person, I want to tell you that there's more people struggling that aren't college educated, but per ratio, that aren't college educated than the ones that are. And I'm not saying everything's not black and white. Everybody talks just because your uncle did it doesn't mean the rest of the world's done it, right? And then it's so many things that we have to start paying attention to, right? So now, as you can see, these are his activities. But this is what I want to see. So as you can see to the left, this is the World Economic Forum website, guys, right? So now when we go over here, right? So partners, right? And then so like let's go policy, terms and code, our mission, right? Let me see. So they go about us, our mission. Let's see what the mission of the World Economic Forum is, right? The World Economic Forum is the international organization for public-private cooperation. It provides global, impartial, and not-for-profit platform for meaningful connection between stakeholders. Look at that. AVG is always on me. Look at this. Hey, I'm gonna have to disable that. So then anyhow, it says, in a world marked by complex challenges, the World Economic Forum engages political, business, academic, and civil society and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. Established in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation, right? So this is the thing about not-for-profit. You can get a lot of power through sponsorships. You can grow a lot of money through sponsorships and endorsements, guys. This is no secret. What I'm saying is, like, even if you can, like, if you're somebody who wants to help the homeless, figure out how to start a nonprofit about it. You got to start walking the walk. We live in the age of information, and your ignorance is a choice. You live in the era where you have the most abundant resources that any human has ever had, ever in the history of time, and you're still sitting here arguing with people on what that person should do with the money, when you can see that they're always donating to nonprofits. Before, you used to have to send a mail to get it in their mailbox and hope that they didn't throw it away. You can send an email to a person and get them to pull the trigger on it. See, the thing is, it's easier to romanticize about wanting to solve the problem than actually solving the problem. It's easier to say that someone's filming feeding a homeless person for likes as you sit on the toilet scrolling, watching that person do it, and then you do the 10-mile death stare when somebody's there scrolling around, like when someone's at holding the sign panhandling. Then you make yourself feel better by saying that every person holding the panhandling sign is a scam artist. Like, there's so much word jumbo of everybody who's white knighted and trying to be these great people, and they're actually not doing anything except, like, my biggest qualm with social media is it allows people just to be loud about nothing. Like, trolling is a thing. Like, I know there's people who love trolling and stuff like that, but there's people who log on to the internet to troll people, then complain about money. Why don't you try to do something of service instead of trying to tell people down? Oh, you want to get out of debt? Start doing something with social media. Go live, start talking about things you care about. All right? That's it. That's all you got to do. So now, the other part that I wanted to show you guys, right? We're going to go down here to partners, right? And I think it's going to send me on another link, right? So it's like partners, because this is why this is important, right? Because I'm going somewhere with this. Our partners, right? Global innovators, unicorns. See, a partnership, right? So now, as you can see, you can go to B here, right? We'll go to B, because you know what I'm looking for, all right? Bayer, no. Let's see, strategic partnership. Let's go. I forgot where it was at. Bear with me here, guys. But see, this is what you have to do. There it is. So look at these partners right here in B, right? These are all like Bridgewater and Associates. That's Ray Dalio. Like, they have real money backing them. This is the smart money. This is what I'm trying to tell you about cryptocurrency and everything else. Look, Barclays, BlackRock, Boston Consulting Group, Bank of America, right? These are strategic partners with the World Economic Forum, and these are just the B's, right? Look at that. Adecco, Amazon, Aramco, AIG, Alibaba. These are the partners with the World Economic Forum. What I'm trying to tell you is these guys have power and resources. Imagine the data collectively they actually have. That's why, instead of just complaining about them, how to play the game to compete with them. How can you live? Because this is why I'm saying they already won. What are you going to do? Break up all of those partnerships? You think that your vote and everyone coming together with torches is going to stop those partnerships? No. Power by numbers. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you guys go look at these partnerships, right? And when you see these things, and this is what I'm trying to tell people, like the writing's on the wall. I'm not just sitting here saying this stuff. Like when I tell you these guys have real deep pockets, real money, not this fake mumbo jumbo stuff, right? Like this is like we're talking AIG, Adecco, Aramco. These are oil tycoons in Saudi Arabia. This is what I'm talking about. Like I'm putting it right here in front of you guys. Like, and then when I tell you about these investments that you need to make, like I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you I'm doing really well right now off these investments. And the only thing I can do is tell you what I know. And now I'm doing it by showing you this, right? And then this is the thing, right? So now let's go back down to B, because we're going to click on BlackRock. And there's a reason why I'm clicking on BlackRock, right? Because when I show you this video of Larry Fink and what he's saying, right? Look, this is BlackRock is a global leader in investment management, risk management, advisory services for institutional and retail clients. That means they're burning the candle from both ends, right? GameStop hodl. And then so anyhow, is that so then it's like if you see iShares, exchange traded funds, or other pooled investment vehicles, BlackRock offers risk management, advisory, and enterprise investment systems to a broad base of institutional investors, right? So now, this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So look at this guy. Look at this guy. See? BlackRock contributors, right? They got Ann Ackerley. She's the head of the retirement group, right? So now, see? Casey Boas. His picture's not showing up for some reason, right? But here it is. Lawrence D. Fink, the chairman and chief executive officer, right? So the point that I'm trying to tell you here, right, is this is the World Economic Forum. Larry Fink, follow the money, right? And then so this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you're not following the money, right? Because like my homeboy there, he's talking about GameStop. You guys should have been buying GameStop the whole time. You have been paid just like homeboy is. $400 million because he was buying because he wasn't waiting for his own tweet to show up. That's what I'm talking about. But anyhow, this is what I'm saying. And the reason why you need the confidence to keep buying, right, is that if you see these things, right? So this is why when you see me talk about institutional investors, right, I want you to look, I'll highlight it. Institutional, BlackRock is a global leader in investment management, risk management, and advisory services for institutional and retail clients. It's right there in writing, right? Then you go down to see the contributors to the World Economic Forum. Why is this important, right? This is why I'm telling you that the globalists already won. The guy who's managing, see how this woman here is the head of the retirement group? The people who is managing your 401ks and your IRAs are partners with the World Economic Forum. They got you by the huevos. You see what, like, and like, this isn't a bad thing. Like, it might be, but I'm saying that you don't, like, since 2016, this has been happening. This guy had this plan since 1971. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So now, you see how it's Lawrence D. Fink, right? I'm gonna stop sharing again, right? Because this is what I want to see, right? I want you to be able to see the forest through the trees. That when I tell you that the institutional investors are coming, right? Let me tell you what smart money does. Like, I'm not somebody yet who has, that's why my goal is to be accredited so I can play in this space. Once I get there, it's lights out, curtain. And I'm knowing my manifestation. I'm doing everything that I need to. Slow steps are better than no steps. Right? Guys, to understand, right? Is that now I'm going to show you a video now. The video, I'm telling you that getting involved in cryptocurrency Because look at what inflation's doing, right? Look at inflation, look at the interest rates, look at the layoffs, look at all the economic factors that are going on right now, right? And I want you to start realizing and thinking, how are you going to be able to make money at a faster rate? Just look at these cryptocurrency returns, right? But I'm telling you, once the institutional investors come, those returns are dead. Like the ones that you're going to get in the next year, maybe 5 years, right? Let's say 3 years. In the next 3 years is going to be the wealth transfer of a lifetime, right? But the best money to be made is going to be within the next 6 months. And it's not going to be you buying it at all-time high like a goon. You got it now. And you have to understand the projects that you're investing in before it goes there. That's how you take profits. If you're investing when other people are profiting, that's what they call exit liquidity. As I'm walking out, like I shared the other day on my Facebook with GameStop, right? The idea, and that I said that before they showed the guy's net worth, because I know how investing works. You're supposed to be walking out on Black Friday when everyone else is at the door trying to come in, right? And how do you know that? Because you knew the plug. You educated yourself and you believed in yourself. That's the whole thing about the roaring kitty thing that I want you to understand, right? So now check me out. I'm going to show you. Let me make sure that I do the right thing, right? So I got to make sure that I show you this. And it's, all right, it's going to be Larry Fink talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, yeah, he's about token of assets, right? So now we're going to go on one. Let's see. Davis, no, can't tell an effect. There we go. Good morning on crypto. Boom, right there, right? So now let me show you this video. Let me know if you guys can hear this. All right.
Basically, QSIP. It'll be on. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own basically QSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be.
All right, I'm gonna pause it there because the one thing that I want you guys to understand is he was talking about utilizing blockchain technology to verify the treasury bonds, right? So I'm not just talking about crypto. I'm talking about them taking real world assets that everyone buys, right? And tokenizing them. The next clip that I'm going to show you, right, is going to be this guy who I showed you on the World Economic Forum, right? And he's a partner. They're already doing the things that I told you that they told you, not me. I'm just saying that I'm listening to these guys, and you guys are sitting here going back between Brandon and Trump, right? And then you're the ones who are actually going to be left behind. That you guys don't realize that all of you guys are going to have the same thing in common. The same people who crap on me about this crypto stuff, I'm not going to feel sorry for people. I've learned over trying to educate people on how little I actually like people. And if you don't like that, I like people, but I like a small few. I used to think I liked everybody, but I don't. But
be immediate because it's just the cost of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about like voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote.
So now right there is terrifying. Like now it's an election year. I want to tell you, they're going to utilize. So when I tell you guys, right, that your driver's license, your social security, like I just sound like a crypto bro, but I'm telling you, I'm well versed in the technology. Like I'm trying to tell you guys that your driver's license, social security number, your birth certificate, they are NFTs. Non-fungible tokens are something that are one of one, which is why they were using the JPEGs. See, the JPEGs, like those pictures, those little digital arts, were just proof of concept. That is the beginning stages of innovation. That is called the beta phase, right? Can you authenticate that I'm the owner of this, right? And you do that using smart contracts, right? And then I just remembered a video that I should have pulled up, but I don't want to deal with it now. But there's a video of Jamie Dimon, right? And he's just completely crapping on Bitcoin, right? But as I made previous videos, that he double talks. JP Morgan and Chase is one of the biggest players in the ETFs. Like, and I'm just like you guys, like you're arguing, like I said earlier in this live, guys. I don't argue with people who are financially illiterate. I was once financially illiterate, but I chose to actually educate myself financially, and it's paying off massively. And then this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, is that if you listen to what that guy's a real decision maker. This isn't some YouTuber. This isn't me. This isn't some guy in his mom's basement shorting a stock. This guy has trillions of dollars at his, like, people give him money. Your boss, wherever you work at, your Fortune 500 company, when they take that 3% of the 6% of your 401k, that guy manages it. He puts that somewhere else. So when you wait until you're 59 to see that, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Most people they ape into 401ks and then cross their fingers that it's going to be enough to retire when they're done. And then if you realize the pace of inflation, the power of a dollar today, and in 20 years, that's why you need to buy some Bitcoin. Take $100 every 6 months. Buy 200, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I can't tell anybody what to do with their money. But I want you to look up a few things. Bitcoin is the greatest performing asset of all time. Of all time. Since they started documenting assets performance, nothing has performed like Bitcoin. That's why when people are like, I like real estate, they're going to tokenize real estate. Because your deed, back to NFTs, is a one of one, right? Then you pass it, the blockchain technology, instead of looking at PDFs on your tax appraiser's office, right? You and I will be issued numbers, right? And this is when this is going to happen. This is my prediction, right? My prediction is you're going to walk into the DMV to renew your registration or whatever it is. Something's going to expire, right? When you go into the DMV, that's when the new system is here. No, the new system tabs, the new system that they don't own. They're like, you already don't own anything. Like there's some people, I just learned about land leases. Like there's corporations, like there's people who live in HOAs, right? And they own their home, but the person they bought their land from doesn't even own the land they built the person's home on. Like you don't actually have ownership of the land in some of those places. It's absolutely nuts. And then the thing is people, this is what I'm saying, and that goes against the entrepreneurship code, but people will sell you anything because they got a family to feed. People don't care about you. That's why you got to be educated. You got to have the street smarts. It's not my fault you bought Shake. You know what I mean? Like the thing is, like it's just that people don't even realize that we already don't have ownership. Like this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, right? Is that the tokenization of all this stuff, I know I just sound like a crypto bro, right? But I'm a crypto bro because I know what it enabled me to do. I achieved financial freedom through investing in cryptocurrency because these assets performed extremely well. And I realized the gains and took them in cash and then bought other assets with them. That's called money. That's personal money management. That's why financial literacy is important. You have to learn how to manage your own finances. You have to take responsibility for your own life. These are the things that I keep trying to tell you, is that this guy is sitting here publicly going on the news. And you know why I tell you that social media is a distraction, right? This guy is on a live news station and most people cut cable, right? Just think about this, how they're fiscally controlling you, right? You cut the cable. You can only see this channel if someone posts it on social media, right? Or live streams it, right? And then and he can talk about it. This is your warning, but nobody is actually watching the news anymore. If something happened in your neighborhood right now, the first place you would go is not to channel 6 or 2. You would log into Facebook and ask people what was going on. That is the power of digital and social media. That's there. The tax part is tricky with the crypto. The tax part is tricky. The tax part, that's something that's why I started the community. The real stuff you can't say on these platforms and things like that. Once like their job is to oppress people. Like once where I'm going with this live stream is I'm going to show you that you're already in the matrix, right? The cell phone that you have, right? Like the cell phone that this one's recording on, that is the mark of the beast. It listens to everything you say. It goes everywhere you go. It copies what you text. You're like, because this is what you think. It's not, if it's not the applications, right? It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. I know it is. Chad, it's definitely possible. I'm just not going to talk about it here. And then so there's still some things, right, to where like if you're not paying attention to what's going on, right? And so I'm trying to tell you, because I'm extremely passionate about this, is because I just want someone like start figuring out, like talk to somebody. Like that's why I started the community. That's why I'm starting the academy, right? Because I'm going to try to teach you guys how to do it yourself, but you can also follow me. And then and it's because I'm telling you that I'm doing the research, right? So let me finish this right now.
Every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own share.
So as you can see, as he would say, he finished there, right? Let me go back to the beginning. He was talking about voting and blockchain technology. See, this is the thing. Yeah. And then so he was talking about the distributed ledger technology, right? This is what you don't understand. See, blockchain is simply just one block created, right? And you can follow it and verify it, right? You can verify everything on the blockchain. That the minute that one block splits off, right? That is actually the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. That's the difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, right? It started as one blockchain and then it split off. And then that's when they renamed it and rebranded it. See, those are called hard forks. Now that's the nerd stuff, but that's why I make videos for that stuff so you can better understand it. Because if you understood that kind of stuff, it'll make when you put money into it more understandable because it makes sense to you. Part of the reason why people don't see profit in cryptocurrency is because they don't know anything. They just think that Dogecoin could go up because Elon Musk says it would, right? Or they think that Shiba Inu, because it has a cute dog, it has virtually no use case at all. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that when you look, the writing's on the wall. This isn't me being a crypto bro. I'm telling you that institutional money is going to be injected into the market, right? I'm going somewhere with this, right? So now, the next thing I'm going to screen share, right? I'm going to stop sharing there, go back. And so now, what I want you to see is that Rock. Let me see, hold on. Boom. So, see? BlackRock, Citadel Securities backed TXSE Group to launch Texas Stock Exchange, right? So now, let me turn it. You guys don't want to see me. I'm with Instagram. Let me show you what I'm screen sharing here. Bear with me, guys. Boom, boom, boom. I'm out here in the trap. Let me see. All right, so now, there we go. Let me go. Where is this at? Where is it? Oh, they got me now. Man, that's a good one. That was a good ad. They almost got me to click on it. So now, as you can see, BlackRock Citadel Securities Backed Texas Exchange, right? So now, where am I at? Where am I at? So now, I'm been going for an hour. So let me see. Boom, boom. There you go. So sorry, guys. I'm over here tripping. Let me see. When we go back to my boom, boom. Mm. Let me see something here. All right, guys. Let me see. Why is it tripping? Let me stop it and refresh. Reload. Oh, they got them cookies. Let me try this again. There we go. All right. So now, BlackRock Citadel Securities Backed. Reuters is one of my favorite sites. Well, I don't know. They're not as biased as most. They just write good journalism, right? So now, it's BlackRock Citadel Securities Backed TXSE Group to launch Texas Stock Exchange, right? As you can see again, follow the trail, right? Follow the money, right? We got BlackRock, right? So now, as you can see, it says TXE Group. So before we go down there, because I like to leave a little mystery, you got to keep them entertained. This is actually going to be a blockchain-based stock exchange. This is going to be where they launch those securitized tokenized assets at. And why do I say that, right? Well, they said it. I didn't. They did it, right? So now look at this, right? TXE Group, Black by BlackRock, a Citadel Security, plans to launch the Texas Stock Exchange in Dallas, going up against established New York-centric exchange. So now this is where I want to make my point, right? So I'm gonna do it again. Let me go back. See, I got it because when I edit this, I want this to be my reel, right? The greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime, right? You are living in a time period, right? Like they have tried to do this before, right? But now this one will be pulled off because now they passed the Bitcoin ETF, they passed the Ethereum ETF, and you start to think now, what else has the same kind of makeup that can do it? Chainlink. But what I want to tell you is that now, when I talk about wealth transfer, because they're issuing a new world order, it's a new world, new day. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So if they're going to start a new stock exchange to challenge the old way, because one of the reasons why I started investing in cryptocurrency was when I first started getting started in investing, I was curious about investing. And then I realized that I knew just as much about the stock exchange as I knew about cryptocurrency. And I just thought that why don't I just grow as an investor with this new thing? I'm going to be 60, 70 years old and telling people the story of how I was in the right place at the right time and made the right decision. He touched his first billion at 60. I'm going for it, maybe even sooner. So I'm 100% into that. And then so the thing that I'm trying to tell you guys, right, is that you have realizing the obvious before it's everyone else. These things are just going to be happening and happening and happening, but you're never going to get enough. We're going to die. My children are going to die, and maybe even my great grandchildren will die before they ever see anything that gives you the opportunity like this. And then, not to be dark about it, all of this stuff is eventually going to go to one way. Right? So first, let's go back to this black. Let me close this door on this, right? I want to close the door on this. So now, I'm going to screen share again. Tab, you should go to Facebook. You can see the screen share. And then see boom, 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 screen share, boom, back again. Last time, trying to tell you that this is going to be on the blockchain, right? And why do I say that? And why is this cooked there? I was like, why is that thing so good, right? So now it says the exchange, which has raised about $120 million, plans to file registration documents with the U.S. Securities Exchange and the SEC to start operating as a national securities exchange later this year, right? So now, a rebound in capital markets has sent a plethora of companies from within and outside the United States scrambling to list their stocks, creating more opportunities for indexes, right? So now, competition is always good, and this is not competition to be taken lightly. J.J. Keenan, CEO of IG North America, big bank stuff, right? President of online banker Tasty Trade. That said, a lot of other players have tried it, and it's hard to open an exchange at the end of the day, right? Major regional stock exchanges, including the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, the Boston Stock Exchange, and the Chicago Stock Exchange, merged into either the NASDAQ or the NYSE after the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission introduced laws that gave preference to automated trading platforms, right? So now that is the first step, because this is why I wanted to talk about this, right? Is that automated, that shift to the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange was already a shift, right? Now what? The NASDAQ hit all-time highs, right? Automated trading platforms. No more handing the cards out, right? It's difficult to take meaningful market shares from incumbents for traded and listed. That right there, that line, right? Now, this is just speculation on my end. Yeah, all these pop-ups, right? So this is speculation on my end. But you got to have your own ideas and your own thoughts. That's why when I have this community, right? This is why I'm starting the community. Because if you have some ideas and some feedback that after reading this, like maybe no one's presented this to you before, and maybe I have. Maybe you have something that you never presented to me, and together we grow together, right? This is why the collaboration of community is important, right? But this is my take. It is difficult to take meaningful market shares from incumbents for trade-ins and listings, right? So what that means, why do I think that's an opportunity, and why do I think that's associated to an opportunity for blockchain, right? So they already tried it before with stock exchanges. The easiest way to get approval for something is to start something that is new. You see what I'm saying? It's difficult to take meaningful market shares from incumbents, right? So that means it's too hard to compete with the stock market. So why don't we just create something around tokenized stocks and blockchain technology, like a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF? And this is where we're going to start it, right? So this is like, see, they haven't announced this yet. This is me seeing the obvious before it's obvious to everybody else. You see? And then so this is just something that I'm thinking of, right? So it's like some other exchanges, most of them failed to achieve what they had initially hoped for. Trading volumes, a key measure for strength of exchange, has also been concentrated between the two industry giants, making it difficult for exchanges with low volume activity to draw big orders from traders. But changes in equities markets, and such as a shift in listing standards and associated costs, are driving more volumes to the exchange and creating more choices for issuers and sponsors, said James Lee. Right? So now, I want you to go back. Actually, I might have to go back for you, right? Corporate issuers and exchange traded product sponsors are demanding more stability and predictability around listing standards, right? Let me go back. Back again. JD's back. Tell a friend. Show you this, right? Oh, yeah, that started late and I'm going, guys. This is what's up. I'm here for you. I'm here for it. All right. So now look at this. I'm gonna go back to what he said. So now you see how he was talking about, right? So let me go back over to this. All right. So you see how he was talking about. Oh, this pop-up is annoying. So then it is like the corporate issuers and exchange traded products and sponsors are demanding more stability and predictability around landing standards. See, stability, predictability. He's already saying tokenization gives you more stability and more predictability. This is two separate conversations, right? That this is not even Larry Fink saying it. This is me connecting the dots. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So now, if look, the Texas Stock Exchange aims to attract listings of exchange traded products and challenges increasing compliance costs of U.S. major indexes, as well as newer rules, including setting targets for board diversity. And it's like, so now, TXC will ultimately create more competition around quote activity, liquidity, and transparency, resulting in more consistent, reliable markets. Right? And that's Lee. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Texas has been in the forefront of politically red or conservative states that restricted their public pensions funds from doing business with BlackRock and other Wall Street firms that have embraced environmental and social governance principles, ESG, which is a hot term in Florida. So now, we're going to go away from that. Next, now, I need to start showing you some opportunities in the market. You know what I mean? And so this is the thing I want to lead with now, right? This is the most important thing ever, right? The Cantillon effect. This is an uneven effect of inflation has on goods and assets in the economy, right? So this is the one, I like this one. I got two sources on this, right? So the Cantillon effect is why this is the greatest wealth transfer of all time. This is how this stuff works. But see, in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is that if you don't start understanding that, look, like Richard Cantillon, right? That money is not as neutral as we think. So the Cantillon effect, or Cantillon, I don't know how people pronounce that. I say the Cantillon. Cantillon, let's say that's his name. That's what they say, Richard Cantillon. First suggested that in 1755, that money is not as neutral as we think. He argued that money injection What we could consider inflationary policies may not change an economy's output over the long term. However, the process of readjustment affects different sectors of the economy differently. This analysis is known as the Cantillon effect. The Cantillon's original thesis outlines how rising prices affect different sectors at different times and suggests that time difference effectively acts as a taxing mechanism. In other words, the first sectors to receive the newly created money enjoy higher profits and they pay as their pay increases, right? So this is why inflation rewards entrepreneurs and investors and corporations, right? If you're not either of the three, you're on the outside of the Cantillon effect, right? So that's why I also have this. So the reason why I shared that, right, is because I want you to understand greatest wealth transfer of all time. The Cantillon effect is people that are closest to these things. This is why I say the age of information, ignorance is a choice. See, now we have the resources. The one thing that really kept the ultra wealthy away from the not so ultra, well, the not wealthy, because I still believe we're going to a two-class system. I also see that what they're doing in the World Economic Forum, like this 100% says that she can't wait to be a cyborg. Right? And having these conversations in Davos in 2020. I'm just a crypto bro. Let me tell you, I know some things. Right? So anyhow, this is what I want to show you, right? First, I'm going to show you on finance, right? Fondo finance is how you can actually get some of this money that's coming in. All right. So let me show you. Let's see. Boom. Let me share this screen. Boom, boom. Let me just share this one real quick. Just go straight to it. So it says, welcome to Ondo, right? So Ondo Finance is actually the token that's attached to BlackRock's Build Fund, right? This is one of my projects that I'm investing in. I average into it all the time. I'm trying to accumulate as much as I can right now. And then it says, our mission is to take institutional grade financial products and services available to everyone. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. We believe that blockchain technology has the potential to improve both the infrastructure of and access to financial products and services. We also believe that the best technical improvements need to be combined with the best practices from traditional finance, including investors, protections, transparency and reporting, legal and regulatory compliance. Intelligent and robust product structuring working best with the service providers and top-notch our products, right? See, products and protocols. See, we simply browse available funds on our website listed with these docs, right? So now there's somewhere I'm going with this, right? Abracadabra. I don't know why I like that song. I gotta reach up you. So now, where am I at? All right, let's go here. On the finance, right? Boom. I'm almost at an hour and a half. I got 10 minutes, guys, to get through my thing. Because I know ain't nobody going to. You should, though. I'm going to re-reference this and refer to it all the time, right? So now, one. So now, see institutional grade five. See institutional. Pay attention to the key words, guys. Institutional grade finance. Now on chain. Ondo is building the next generation of financial infrastructure, right? This is where, see, US dollar yield, right? US treasuries, 4.99%, right? They already have the tokenization of assets already on chain, and it's Ondo. Yo, let me tell you guys, they already have this on chain and it's Ondo. Ondo is where they're going to dump all that money at. See, this is what I'm trying to put you on game here, right? This is what I want you to see, right? Now, they didn't let me open this up the last time, but let me see if they let me do it this time. All right. So now they're going to probably count this as twice. Let me see. But let me share this with you, right? So I'm on time. So now look at this here. Somebody come look at this. BlackRock's $10 trillion, right? Hey. So now BlackRock's $10 trillion tokenization vision. The future of real world assets, right? So let me scroll down before they get all crazy on me, right? So now that's $10 trillion is what I'm trying to tell you about right now, right? So now we are currently witnessing a digital transformation as traditional finance and investments undergo a seismic shift towards greater efficiency and accessibility. Leading the charge, BlackRock, the world's largest, see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. The Bitcoin ETF aims to tokenize $10 trillion in its assets in partnership with Securitize, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So now you got $10 trillion coming into assets, right? And Securitize. We're talking $10 trillion. The entire crypto market, right? The entire crypto market is only 2 trillion. We're talking about people are going to be able to get 800 times on their money from what they invested today. The early adopters, that's going to be the great shift. You're going to be buying Satoshis at a premium, or you're going to have to buy the fiat currencies or the distributed ledger like central digital bank currencies. Right? So now I'm trying to what they're trying to do. All right. viewchannel4.com. There we go. So now watch. So now $10 trillion in assets, right? Securitized, CEO, right? So now let me stop sharing. I'm gonna go back. I gotta show you a new one. See, you have to start looking at these things, right? Like, this is why you guys need to join my community. This is why you need to be in Visionary Village. See, I would talk to you guys about this every day. I'm gonna record this video and I'm gonna put this in the Visionary Village. This is for you guys to watch. Hour and a half of convince you that you need to start getting involved in this cryptocurrency stuff. Because see, what's going to eventually happen, right, is you're going to miss the bus. But now let me show you some weird stuff, right? Let me get weird on you guys, right? I want to show you about this World Economic Forum and the stuff that they're doing, guys. It's absolutely nuts, right? Look at this. Everybody wants to look at this. This lady says she wants to be a cyborg. Here.
When humans become cyborg session. You know, I always want to be a cyborg. I'm waiting for the day to become one, but we're going to start the When Humans Become Cyborg session. You know, I always want to be a cyborg. I'm waiting for the day to become one, but let's see. Like today, we like to really talk about the recent developments of brain-computer interface and how that's really blurring the line between man and machine. And that's also opening up many, many questions about social, cultural, and ethical implications of these technologies. And today we have such a perfect, wonderful panel to talk about that issue. And firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm the moderator. I'm Hiromi Ozaki. I'm an artist, also young global leader from Japan, and I make artworks based on tech and future tech. And to the very, very end, it's Ronaldo Lemos, Director of Institute of Technology and Society.
On healthy longevity, which I chair. And
from medicine point of view.
Sure. Well, thank you for asking me to be on this panel. I'm a physician and a scientist, and but I also been involved with these areas for a while.
That is that curing, but then if you have students enhancing their brains to do well in the exams, what is that in the realm of medicine? Not. So do you have any perspectives on from medicine point of view?
Sure. Well, thank you for asking me to be on this panel. I'm a physician and a scientist, and but I also been involved with these areas for a while through, for example, the Global Futures Council on Healthy Longevity, which I chair. And of course, these issues get into what do you do with the elderly? How do you use this technology? Also, at my academy, we're very much interested in societal and ethical implications of science and technology. So, first of all, I think that you're in pretty safe ground when you use this technology for the purpose of, curing disease, treating disease, or at least addressing impairment. I do think you start crossing the line when you think about enhancement augmentation. We'll come back to that. But you talk about cyborg. We're already living in an age of cyborg because, like it or not, actually in the 1980s, cochlear implant was invented. One of my faculty member, when I was chancellor at Duke, Blake Wilson. And he's able, this is a neural interface that being able to pick up, for example, sound signal, and then being able to have that interface so they can interpret the signal for those who have hearing loss. And now 400,000 people are using cochlear implant. So that's clearly an area that you would agree that's helpful, right? And if you begin to look down the road, I think Elima already talked about brain implants. Certainly we know about deep.
So I don't want to drag that out too much, guys. What I was trying to show you though, right? So to show you guys is that these people are already talking when I started at the beginning of it, right? These are all the things that I'm interested in, right? Is that they are already starting to merge man and machine. I've never heard someone say they were excited to be a cyborg before. The Terminator, real life. Like this stuff is real. It's crazy. There's actual humans who are willing to do this, right? And so, guys, over than what I want to do. I'm right at a minute and 30. An hour and 30. I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. I really appreciate everybody who stayed and fought through me on that. I was a little late on it, but guys, again, my name is Michael James. I'm the founder of the Fourth Eye Vision. If you're somebody who likes to get started invested in cryptocurrency, you want to see the opportunity and thrive in this fourth industrial revolution, I myself has achieved financial freedom through investing in crypto. I have over a multi-million-dollar portfolio. I want you guys to be able to thrive this fourth industrial revolution. And I put together this academy so I can educate you. And I also have my private group the Visionary Village, where you'll be able to invest with me. You'll also be able to see my strategies, the things I'm investing in, and more importantly, knowing my exit strategy. I will help you learn risk tolerance, how to set up everything properly, so you can understand how to navigate in these foreign times, guys. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening, and you guys have a great evening.